Hi, everyone. My name is John DePietro.
I'm Bob Zagami with the Camper Report Show.
And on this Camp Report Show, Bob, we talked about it last week, but this week we're going to tell you all about it. We're going to take you outside. We're going to take you inside. We went to New York City for the unveiling, the world debut of the brand new Lineage from Grand Design. We're going to talk with all the big wheels at Grand Design.
All right, I've got an interview with Randy Murray. We bring Randy in about once a year. He's director of operations at Pete's RV, and we talk about service and ideas. And this year we threw in a little new things about safety and weather, because we certainly have that crazy stuff all around us.
Weather's an issue that you really have to be concerned with when you're camping, because flash flood could happen in a campground in a minute, and you got to be prepared to get out quick if need be.
Yep.
Yeah. So those stories, plus all the news of the week right here. Where, Mr. Zagami?
On the Camper Report Show.
And we get all of our news. Where, Mr. Zagami, again? Where do we get all our news?
Kessler RV Business and Ben Quiggle at Woodall's Campground Magazine. Could not do it without them.
We'll be back with all those stories plus more right after this. Hey there, RVers. We get it. Your insurance and warranty needs are as unique as your travel destinations. That's why RVer Insurance has teamed up with Wholesale Warranties to cover all the bases. From health insurance to RV coverage and warranties, we've got you sorted every step of the way. With a solid track record in providing top-notch health insurance and affordable RV insurance options, RV Insurance has you covered. And for those unexpected repair bills, look no further than our friends at Wholesale Warranties, leaders in reliable coverage and customer support. Start your RV protection journey today at RVerinsurance.com or wholesalewarranties.com/RVer Insurance. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Camper Report Show. This is a news segment. My name is John DePietro. That other young man over there is Bob Zagami. And Bob, there's so much news and new stuff going on. And one of the coolest things that I've seen in a long time is a new job posting by our friends at Harvest Host called Chief Retirement Officer. Tell me about this.
This thing has gone viral. It is crazy. Joel came up with the idea of having somebody that is retired or wants to retire that would travel around the country. They pick out the places, all Harvest Host locations, go visit them, do some content creation, they'll be involved in monthly meetings at the company, which are all virtual. And when they're all done, somebody's going to own a fifth wheel that they're going to be traveling around the country with. It's amazing. The resumes and registrations are coming in like crazy.
So all you have to do is go to the Harvest Host website and look for the story on CRO, Chief Retirement Officer. And who knows, it could be you. It could be the owner of I think it's a Grand Design Solitude or Momentum.
Grand Design Solitude. It was Joel's first unit on the road. It's been completely refurbished. And that person is going to have that to run out and run around the country.
Yeah. And you refer to Joel as Joel. But
Joel,
you're on a first name basis.
Like he's my brother-in-law coming over for beer. Right? Joel Holland, the CEO of Harvest Host,
Harvest Host
for 5 years, and you'll find the story under the blogs on the Harvest Host website. Go into blogs and you'll see the story about the Chief Retirement Officer. Within that story, there is a click through for registering and putting your name into the hat.
And as soon as they go through those resumes, which I'm sure they're going to be thousands. Okay, we've had several of our friends call us and say, "Can we use your name?"
Yep, absolutely.
We said, "Only if you don't want to be picked." But
right.
Nevertheless, you know what? Another interesting aspect of RVing that years ago was thought of as an adversary to camping is glamping, and now KOA has so many glamping sites and its own facilities that it's really part of glamping. And KOA, through our friend Scott Baer, has come out with another report on how glamping is getting more and more popular than ever. How about the details?
It's one of those new series of monthly reports because there's so much going on in the industry for the North American Camper and Outdoor Hospitality Report. And glamping is one of those. And we see nationwide, we see Glamping Show USA with David Course, who he's now going on, I think, his third or fourth show. That's kind of a trade show, and it grows, doubles in size every year. And the just being newly formed American Glamping Association to help companies either get into the glamping world or help them improve their glamping facilities. And it's just booming. But in that KOA, the most current one, they noticed that half of those who tried glamping last year were millennials with disposable income.
Yep.
37% reported a household income of $100,000 or more. And I can attest to that. I've got a daughter and her husband who go glamping at Terramore every year, and they love it.
Yeah.
One
And
out
we
of
should say,
huh?
you mentioned Terramore. I mean, that is a facility up in Maine near what's the
Acadia.
big park up
Yeah,
there? Acadia National Park.
Acadia. Yeah.
And it used to be a traditional KOA. They switched it over. No RVs allowed, as I
Nope.
found out a couple years ago when I couldn't get my RV in and out of there when I went up to do a story. But tell our audience what your daughter doesn't mind paying per night to
Oh,
stay
they're upwards of $250 to $350 a night, and
a
they're
night.
sold out for the year.
It's
And
amazing.
in
It's
fact,
amazing.
they just came back from this year's trip up there,
Yep.
and
Yep.
it's also bringing in a varied what do you say, demographic.
Yep.
One out of every three new glamping households in the last year included blacks at 20% and Hispanics at 13% as guests.
Yep.
And um, they just, it's a different form. And one of the nice things that I like about it, and not everybody agrees, but I think when they see how nice it is to be outdoors, and yes, many of them will stay in glamping, but many of them are going to buy trailers, fifth wheels, motorhomes, and expand their RVing experience
Yep.
because of the great outdoors.
And that's what our friend Toby O'Rourke said, that once they tried glamping for the first time, they kind of become regulars and then get into the whole outdoor hospitality thing. And, that means so many different things to different people. But in order to get into the outdoor hospitality thing, many people still choose to own an RV. And we got our statistics from our friends at RVIA, and numbers are up in an upward trend. And talk a little bit about that.
They continue to ease up over last year. They're not, realistically, they're not up as much as the industry thought they would be, but there's a lot of factors out there in terms of the economy and the unpredictability of the upcoming presidential election. But the towables were, in with conventional travel trailers being the best, they were up 13.5% in May from last May, and motorhomes finished down about 31%. So
Yeah.
motorhomes still.
I was shocked with that figure because, I would say that if you look at the traditional Class A's, which 20 years ago were the bulk of the business,
Yep.
I thought with the new B's and C's that are coming out all the time, which we'll talk about next, the motorhome sector would not be that drastically negative.
Well, I think it's the Bs, the small Cs, the van campers, those are what's carrying that end of it. And the kind of is strange. The middle range is a little bit out of sync. The high end diesels, the high end fifth wheels, there'll always be a market for that because people have, plenty of disposable income in that range. So we have been lucky enough to have this swell of new people coming in with the Bs and the camper vans. So once the economy does turn around and the middle of the motorhome category starts moving again, then they can start numbers going up next year. But the rule of thumb are most people in the analysts right now figure that by the end of the year, we'll probably level out to what we were last year.
Yeah, exactly. Cyclical nature.
Yeah. Yeah.
By every means. And, we just alluded to it before, as well as just seconds ago. Grand Design, a leader in the towable market with 11 or 12 years. Again, as Don Clark says, depending upon who you ask, whether it's 11 years or 12 years. But anyway, no matter what, you and I were.
But the ones that are counting 12 are counting that dinner, that breakfast that they put on in Louisville in November one year. So they're counting that because they opened up a room, invited all the dealers in, had coffee and Danish. They ran out of the bagels.
Ran out of bagels.
Ran out of bagels.
And they ran out of chairs.
But exactly, they had to open up the room, but that counts that put their foot into that year. So that was the 12th year. But it's
Okay, so
11
there you go.
years of full production.
But they've got this their first motorized product called the Lineage. It's a 24-foot product on a Mercedes 4500 now. That's interesting. The Mercedes 4500. It's a beefed up chassis, but it's a Sprinter chassis, and
Yep.
they're putting a lot of faith and stock into that. I got to view one last weekend, which we're going to talk about in our feature today. But you know what? It's an amazing piece of machinery.
I thought the engineering on it was phenomenal. They got an experienced industry leader in from the motorhome sectors and Mike Hums, and they have really designed something special. When companies do something like this, you think, oh, just another motorhome. No, they put a lot of European touches into it, sturdily built, as you say, on the 4500. And of all places, they decided to take it to the middle of New York City to have the I mean,
On one of the hottest days of the year,
yeah,
last Saturday. But it was interesting to see people walking through New York. Bryant Park, which is virtually directly across the street from Grand Central, right between Times Square and Grand Central. So there's tons of traffic, and go in and look at it. So what they wanted to do was introduce it to a new audience. They wanted to get some media exposure. I know they had Fox News there in the morning, and the Weather Channel as well. But interesting introduction idea, and pretty cool. And we want to wish them well. And again, you're going to hear more about it in just a few minutes. So
right.
that's the news. And you're heading onto the highways. Keep your eyes out. Just do a little check as to see what kind of motorized product or any kind of RV product coming at
Well,
you.
we see what the percentages are. It'll be interesting because I'm going up to Indiana for a couple of weeks to visit family, so it'll be interesting to see. There's always plenty of RVs on 75 heading right up there.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Okay.
they're out of here soon.
That is the story on the news of the week. And we get our news from where, Bob?
RV Business, Rick Kessler, and Woodall's Campground Magazine with Ben Quiggle
And we'll be back with more right after this, right here. Where?
on the Camp Report Show.
Stay with us, everyone. Attention, all RVers. Say goodbye to roof worries and hello to worry-free travel with RV Roof Magic. This revolutionary liquid butyl roof coating is specially formulated to protect your RV from the elements, to extend its lifespan and prevent leaks. With simple application and outstanding results, RV Roof Magic is the go-to choice for RV owners seeking superior roof protection. Don't let roof maintenance issues hold you back. RV Roof Magic is the only liquid butyl rubber in the world that offers a one-coat, no-primer coverage and a 10-year warranty. Visit rvroofmagic.com/RVLife and extend your roof another 18 to 20 years.
All right, welcome back to the Camp Report Show, everyone, and a special guest again tonight. Come back for a few months since we've seen you, Randy Murray, Director of Operations at Pete's RV Centers. Randy, thanks for taking the time. I contacted you because I was watching a lot of TV for some reason this weekend, and between hurricanes, floods, fires, high heat index, wind, on top of what people normally do to get ready for the camping season, have you seen a different attitude with clients about the different types of weather patterns we're seeing, or their camping patterns at all?
I don't know if I've seen a different attitude. I had reposted a video I made on how to properly use your air conditioner, and I got a ton of views. So there's people out there educating themselves. So I think that every summer we have the tornado in Tornado Alley, or tornado season, and there's hurricane season, things like that. So people are, I don't want to say immune to it, but they know that we kind of summer brings some of those weathers, and they'll adapt and overcome. I haven't had anybody under our umbrella or the Pete's RV family that were hugely affected by it, other than maybe some wind. In the old days, I used to run to the campgrounds and write up awning estimates, but we've been educating people better now
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm not getting as many of those when the wind blows. So I think people are seeing what's coming. These darn things are, we can tell what the weather is going to be, so we
Right.
can prepare ourselves a little bit better, very accurately now, where 10 years ago, I think you'd probably agree, we couldn't do that.
Right.
So I think people are using technology. They're paying a little bit more attention. They know some of it's coming and they expect some of it. And so they make provisions for that bad day when they're camping. I do anyway.
Well, I saw a lot of forums last weekend when we had that high heat index, both down here in Florida, but also up in the Chicago area and in New England. You guys got really high heat temperatures, and I saw people saying they were going to cancel their camping reservations because they didn't want to go out and just sit in the camper, but it must put an extra load on the air conditioner and the water supplies. And what about that?
So not so much the air conditioner, because the air conditioner wants, right? So the power grids, though, definitely something that we've been working really hard on educating our customers. I brought all our voltage boosters to the front of the store on that day. I'm trying to be a capitalist, right? But we were educating people on the low voltage situations that are caused by today's RV in an antiquated park, or maybe an older park with. I'm selling RVs with 3 air conditioners on them. They've got dishwashers, fireplaces, washer and dryer. We're bringing home with us to the campground, which definitely changes the what the grids were designed for and what they can handle. So we got to educate ourselves on that as a consumer and protect ourselves from that, because we're damaging equipment if we're not doing so. So I would definitely welcome any of the viewers here this evening and nerve the viewers as well, as educate yourself on how to protect your property. Because in my mind, you're bringing your personal property to someone else and you're plugging into an unknown power source and you're hooking up to unknown water. If you're not protecting your property, your investment and fund from the unknowns that could happen, then I don't want to say you deserve something, but you definitely should.
Well, it's a valid point though, because the phones provide you so much information. And in fact, we can even sign up down here for alerts for hurricanes and stuff. And you get the tornado watches and you get the heavy winds. And they still, last weekend, we got 20 inches of rain in 3 days in Florida, in Naples, Florida. And the alerts were out there, and yet people didn't leave the campground. They didn't leave their homes. They drove through, they got stranded in the water. So, and you're right, there's no excuse for it. We can educate them only so much. And there was one campground down here, believe it or not, that lost about 20 awnings. The people didn't put them in. I mean, the very basic of things that you do, and people still refuse to put them in. They told me they had a wind. Well, talk about that a little bit though, because they get misled about, somebody says, no, don't worry, it's got a wind sensor, it'll take it in. Well, when the wind's 70 miles an hour, it'll take your whole trailer down the road.
So if you listen to me and the people that I train on how to properly use your sunshade, it's not an awning anymore. We will tell you to bring it in when you're not going to be around. Bring it in inclement weather. Bring it in if it's raining. Bring it in when you go to bed. Just because so many things can happen. They're not the same awnings that we once had. That when we made them electric, we took a lot of the structure and the support out that could handle moderate weather. But we make them really easy to operate, because the old ones weren't easy to operate, right? You remember pulling the ratcheting straps down. And today's awning with the sunshade and hit the button, bring it in, and that way it'll be there when you want it, right?
Yeah, I went out today to go to Naples, and I can get to Naples in about 40 minutes. When I left my house, it was bright sign, no clouds in the sky. Halfway there, you could see the dark clouds coming in. So if somebody was in a campground and said, let's go to lunch, and they went this way rather than the Naples way, they don't even see what's behind them. And halfway to Naples, I couldn't see a hand in front of me. We came to a screeching halt. The road was flooded. We get these storms for like an hour, and it's just torrential pain for an hour. If you were in a campground and left your awning up or your windows open, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. The other issue that comes up, and maybe I've just taken more notice of it lately, but I've seen more accidents with trailers rolling over, even motorhomes. Have you seen an increase in that? Are people just getting crazy on the road? And you spend a lot of time on the road.
So I do, well, I do. You know where, and I don't wish anybody to be in an accident. I would never want anybody to get in an accident hauling a trailer because I've seen what can happen when that happens, and nothing that I would want anybody to do. But we've got a lot of people out there that don't have a ton of towing experience. We've got half-ton trucks stating that they'll tow 10 or 11 to 12,000 pounds just because they say they'll do it doesn't mean you should. Um, and I've personally watched a lot of customers showing up to save a dollar installing and purchasing and installing their own hitches at the dealership level. And I get it, man. I am as frugal as they come, and things are not the same price as they once were right now. And if you want to be out there with your family, or get out and do have the normalcy in lives that we grew up with and kind of lost during COVID, but kind of you got to save a dollar here and save a dollar there. I mean, go to the grocery store. Everything is more expensive, so if you can get something on Amazon and install it yourself, I understand the thinking behind that, but maybe this isn't the product that you should do that with for everybody. I mean, I'm not saying you get a guy like me, I can install a hitch on anything and you give me the right hitch and I'll put it together. And there's lots of guys out there like me. I'm not the only one. And so I respect those guys. And if they hook it up, but there's people that are doing it that probably shouldn't. And they're trying to save some money. And unfortunately, they don't understand the ramifications of a 30-foot trailer swaying behind you and what can happen if you don't know what to do. And they haven't educated themselves. And when we try to educate some of those people, they don't want to hear it from us because they're trying to get it in, get it out, or the RV dealer's got a bad rap, or maybe something happened to get to that point where we didn't agree, the customer didn't agree with our processes or our policies. So they just want to get done and go. I welcome the public purchasing an RV, whether it be from me or any other dealer in the country. Listen to what they have to tell you when it comes to towing. Listen to them about the hitches. These are the guys that do it. They may not be experts, but they've done it a lot more than you probably have. And they're going to know what to say, or they're going to have somebody under, at that place that can help you.
Yeah, but you put a nice twist to it. In these challenging economic times, sometimes people cut corners. So thinking about what are 2 or 3 of the things that they should not cut corners on when it comes to camping and trailering, preventive maintenance, or things that you should have checked, the grease on the brakes, things that you put those on a list and say, this is not where we cut. We can cut, we'll get the 8-ounce cheese instead of the 16-ounce. That's fine. But this is your life and death. This is your unit.
This is your family traveling down the road at highway speeds, right?
Yeah. So 100%. What are a couple of tips that you give them, and even if they don't want to do it, bring it back to the dealership?
So again, listen to what the dealership is recommending when it comes to that hitching and things like that, for sure. I have the conversation, and you have to be the right person and have the right customers to have this conversation. I was like, you brought me an $80,000 truck. You bought a $50,000 thing that you don't need, and you're looking for the cheapest thing on Amazon to mate them together and go down the road at highway speeds. You're crazy. So I've had that conversation, and usually I'm talking to the wife and she's like, what do we need? They're the ones that listen. So cook at the campfire another night. Don't go out to dinner. I mean, we go up into Maine and get a lobster. I don't care now or 10 years ago or 10 years from now. They're expensive. Cook it at the site. Maybe not go and do all the extravaganzas that you would, or go to the water parks and things like that. Go to the beach. It's free. Go to the swimming pool at the campground. Maybe don't get the premium site with a cable closer to the pool. Maybe get the one in the back of the park. So there is ways to save money other than safety. Get a good hitch. Make sure you maintain that appropriately. Make sure your running gear is maintained appropriately. Those are the things that keep us safe going down the road, right? That's where my head goes immediately. And then I want to protect my investment. I want to make sure that we're checking the roof seals and doing that stuff that you need there. Ask your dealer too, man. You get a good service advisor that likes you, that you have some trust with. Ask them what you can go without for maintenance this year because it's not in the cards. And what kind of, maybe we don't service your furnace or your refrigerator this year. Maybe we make sure that the running gear is safe to go down the road, your hitch looks good, and your roof sealed. maybe we do that stuff next year, or give you the tools or an education to do it. We've got tons of YouTube videos out there. You've seen them, Bob, where I'm the guy telling you how to do it yourself with a DIY, the guys that want to do it themselves, and save some money doing that. Time is tough for anybody. But if you can cut the right corners, or maybe postpone, let's postpone and do it at a different day, or maybe do it yourself, but keep the stuff that's going to keep you and your family safe up front and in center, because that's what you want.
And we don't want them to stop camping. Do it smart and do it economically. You can still have it and still have fun. You got a whole summer ahead of you there. We got coming here on July 4th already. Enjoy the camping, enjoy the fun.
100%. And I think I talked to some people that are like, I'm going to cancel my trip. I'm like, well, then you didn't want to go anyway, because you never cancel your trip if you want to go. You figure out a way to get there.
You're looking for an excuse.
Exactly. Yep.
All right, Randy, always a pleasure. Our guest tonight is Randy Murray, Director of Operations at Pete's RV Centers. How many places you got? 9 now?
8.
8. Okay.
We're going to be looking to Saco, Maine. I see lots of things flying around on Facebook and things like that. That is coming. Interest rates are really high right now. That is definitely coming, and we will be there.
And it's a great lot too.
It's an incredible location. I drove by it last week, and I'm super excited.
Yeah, I mean the amount of traffic that goes by there. So where are the other 8? We got South Burlington, we got Plainville, Mass, we got Connecticut,
Hartford, Connecticut, Schererville, Indiana. We've got Greencastle, Pennsylvania. We've got Mountville, Pennsylvania. And we are down in Chesapeake, Virginia, as well as Salem, Virginia. So all over the place, up and down the East Coast. We're trying to situate ourselves so we can take care of our network up and down the East Coast.
Yeah. How does the mailman catch up to you? Or do you go out on the road for a month and come back and get a stack like this?
So my mom will call me and tell me that the living room is starting to look like a warehouse. All the Amazon packages ordered from the hotel room over a month's time. You get home, it's like Christmas.
Randy, always a pleasure, my friend. We'll catch up to you down the road.
All right. Sounds great, Bob. Thank you. Have a great evening.
Bye now.
Okay, we're with Tommy Hall. We are inside. Outside, these kind of all look alike. You got the Sprinter chassis, but inside is really what makes a difference. And Tommy, as I come in here and I see this color palette, this is a unique look.
Yeah, absolutely.
Outside of the colors, look at dark ceiling. You never see that.
Absolutely, yeah. So the thing that we wanted to do with the first lineup of the Lineage is we wanted to find out what is the industry in this segment doing really well. What can we change and make a little bit better? Aesthetically, some features. So. You talked about the dark ceiling right off the bat. We're really the only motorhome doing a dark ceiling, especially in the Sprinter segment. But there's a lot of cool design aspects that go into, this Series M. So very much European detailing. A lot of our materials, a lot of our supplies come from overseas and are imported in, ran through our great PDI facility to make sure they're up to our standard. But, as you walk around this thing, you'll see a lot of European inspiration and styling. Starting up front, we wanted to... traditionally in a Class C, it's very hard to get cool air to the cab over bunk. It's very hard to get natural sunlight in through the front of the cab. So we added a front windshield. I'm keeping it actually closed right now because of the heat here in New York City this week. So we added a front windshield. But the bigger story here is very spacious cab over bunk. You have enough room for two small kids up here.
Yeah.
But the big game changer here is that we designed our front cap and our front molds to have its own AC. Traditionally in a Class C, you have a curtain or a shade.
It's 4 feet away from the area.
It closes here, and so you force air from the living area to the front. Well, if you shut your shade, you're not going to have any cold air. So we wanted to design something that fixed that issue. So our cab over has dedicated air. So you're going to have cool air just like you would anywhere else. The styling, so our fascias, you don't have to worry about the block fascias. Everything's a very clean fit. Tons of accent lighting. For between 25 and 26 foot, we've got a lot of lighting to complement the dark ceiling. So accent light everywhere. We've got a hospital grade Shaw floor, so spills, stains, they're not going to set in, and very easy to clean up and keep clean. The smart sink. So we started this at Grand Design in the Solitude a few years ago. But it was such a hit, we wanted to carry it over to our motorized. So what we did is we deepened the sink of any other Sprinter. We added the cup washing spray here.
Cup washing spray.
So you're a Boston guy.
Yeah,
you're a
yeah,
Boston
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
You go up to the bars. You flip the cup over.
Right.
It's washing it all. Baby bottles, whatever it is. I got a 3.5-year-old and a 9-month-old daughter, so we take bottles along with us. So just a drying tray to go with it. But really, you got a lot of countertop space. We went with the 2-burner cooktop because we found, based off of customer feedback,
You're not doing all your cooking inside.
a lot of people don't want to use 3 or 4, so
Right.
we use 2. Again,
Right.
you're flush covered, so you have some countertop space.
You don't lose the counter space for a stove that you hardly ever use.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the reality of
So
it.
you're in a 25-foot motorhome, so
Yep.
space is limited. You got to get as much out of it as you can. Again, back to the European styling, we went to some very clean detailing on the hardware.
Pretzels and everything.
Absolutely. All of the cabinets are going to be soft close,
Okay.
and they're all going to be the flat fronts.
Yeah.
Timeless. Most sprinters, you're looking at a 6 to 8 cubic foot refrigerator. We actually went a little bit step further, and we put in a 10 cubic foot refrigerator. So you're going to have a little bit more.
So you got the double doors on the fridge part.
Double doors on the fridge.
Yeah.
And then you got a big pull-out
Wow.
freezer, which I might just hang out here for the rest of the day. This
Yeah,
feels
yeah,
actually
yeah,
really
yeah.
good.
Oh, wow, that's a good one.
But styling. So everything is square. Obviously, you'll see some round aspects on the stove, but all of our styling is
Oh,
square.
there
If
you go.
Look
There's
up
your-
above.
Square handles.
Square handles. If you look up above, our AC return is fantastic. So right here, John, we made a mold.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Let's get that logo up
our
there.
AC is fantastic. So if you've ever been into a high-end home or a high-end hotel, we have things that we call linear slot diffusers. And traditionally in an RV, you've got these round molded vents that just dump air straight down.
Yep.
But what we've done is we've gone a step further and we've designed linear
Diffuser.
slot diffusers.
Yep.
That actually pushes air front to back.
Yep.
So that you have an even spread of cold air going throughout your coach.
And they are directionable,
Exactly.
right? Directionable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bathroom.
Bathroom is always an
Hop
issue
in
with
there.
25
Here,
feet.
I'll let you hop in.
Okay.
Look at the size of the shower.
Wow.
Skylight. You've got a beautiful porcelain toilet.
Oh, okay. Skylight and a
Power vent.
fantastic fan vent. Wow. Shower, but not just a shower. You got the wand.
And then another thing to point out, look down at the base. You got the C deck, so you're not going to slip. It's
Yep.
the same thing that they put in high-end boats. And then you have a linear drain. So you're not going to get hair clog. You're not going to get all that stuff. It's going to stay
Okay.
clean. It's going to stay open.
Then you got counter space for makeup here,
Yeah.
and then the sink. Interesting.
So I'll let you hop out. Another
Okay.
big thing that we want to talk about, and I know you wanted to keep it short, but
Yep.
if you get me talking, John, I'm going to keep talking a long time. We wanted to build a sprinter with a bigger bed. So we're the only sprinter in the industry that has a 70 by 80 king bed. A lot of it you're traditionally
Yep.
going to see 74, 76, 78, but we offer a 70 by 80 king bed. And to get this in, we won't take it apart right now, but you lay down on this, there's a seam right here that you're not going to feel. And when you pull the slide in, this bunk actually sets, or this
Right
bed
there.
actually sits on top of itself. So it's
Okay.
very easy to transition from slide in to slide out.
So when this is there a couch here, Tommy, or is this just a walkway?
This is just the walkway here for
Walkway
the
back.
bed. A big king bed, but as you notice, right now I'm
both
200
sides.
pounds. I can
Yep.
fit pretty easily around all sides of the king bed.
Storage, always an issue.
Storage,
Not anymore.
not anymore. So we have got our closet in the back that's got a lit clothes rack.
Opens automatically. I mean, lights.
Lights up automatically with
Yeah.
when the doors open. So just minor details we wanted to get better at. We wanted to have a bigger bed. We wanted to increase the storage. Back on the storage thing, I'm making you turn around like a wild man, but it was important to us
Oh,
that we
There we
had
go.
plenty of storage in this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we went with some heavier duty, glides.
Yep.
We realized that we want people to be able to use this. This isn't just get it from point A to point B. You're bringing your cases of water, you're bringing your pet leashes, you're bringing everything that you need to bring with you on a trip. How can we get the most storage out of 25 feet? So I think we did a really good job. I think the styling is spot on. The early feedback has been fantastic. In this floor plan, you're really limited on options. A lot of what you see is what you get. We will offer a ultra leather package, and then in place of a dinette, you'll actually have a theater seat.
Okay.
So-
So in this case, this dinette folds for more sleeping.
The table will drop
Right.
down, and the cushions will ensemble to make an additional sleeping area.
So you got two for the bed, one there, couple kids up there.
Yep.
It's not designed for a family of 8.
Yep.
by any means.
And you don't see it here today because we're showing it. But what we're going to do is, rather than having tracks for curtains across the ceiling, we integrated magnets into our molds. So mom and dad or whoever in the main sleeping area wants to have some privacy, the kids want to have privacy up front, we'll have curtains that actually snap up with magnets real quick. When they're done, pull them down, but everything will be built into the roof material. So we're very proud of this. We're very excited. I think, you know, for being step one in our Lineage story and the rollout of motorhomes that we're going to have over time, I think this was a great way to get things started, and we're really excited to get it out in the marketplace.
So for the time being, we got one floor plan with more to be added.
Yeah, so we have one floor plan now. We'll probably have production getting ready to go from a proto standpoint towards open house. But this segment probably won't have more than 2 or 3 floor plans. After this, we'll move to the F600s and start thinking about vans.
Yep.
So
Perfect. Tommy Hall, this is the Lineage. I want to thank you for spending time with us.
it's always good to spend time with you guys.
And let's go explore more.